Hello there.
Hello.
So, who are we with today?
My name is Neil.
Neil. Nice to meet you, Neil.
Good to meet you.
Neil, thank you very much for doing this video. I just want to talk to you a little bit about you and about what you do and things like that. So, give us a little overview of Neil. What things do you do? Where do you work, etc.?
Well, I work as a teacher. I teach English as a foreign language to various students, and before that I was a sign writer. I used to do signs for pubs, the outside of pubs, sometimes restaurants, and sometimes hotels.
Oh, right. And what's happened to that line of work? Does it still exist?
Very, in a very small way. A lot of pubs have shut down, and that sort of work went really, and they do vinyl signs now, so there's no call for it really. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So that is. Do you still do that if you have the opportunity?
I've done it once this year.
Right.
Yeah,
So
once this year. That's been a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, that's.
Okay. And how do you find? How long have you been teaching now?
I've been teaching 2 years.
Uh-huh.
2 years. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. You meet lots of different people, and you learn a few other languages, or learn the basis of a few other languages.
Sure.
Yeah, and the hours are very long though.
Why are the hours very long for you?
Because I'm slightly disorganised, and I take ages to prepare lessons for students. That's really the basis of it. Yeah.
Okay. How long are your lessons? How long do they last typically?
2 hours usually.
2 hours.
Sometimes 3 hours, but usually 2 hours.
And to prepare for a 2-hour lesson, how much time would you need, perhaps?
You need probably a couple of hours, but that can last up to an afternoon or a day if it's something you don't know.
So I was going to ask you what you do in your spare time, but I think that's a bit...
Well, sometimes I still... my degree was in fine art, painting,
right.
Sculpture. So sometimes I still do painting, not as much as I want to, and sometimes I go walking around the countryside, and near sort of Yorkshire Dales, but then sometimes watch a bit of football. That's about it really.
Right, okay. So what kind of painting do you like to do? Is it oil or watercolours?
They're usually watercolours, watercolour based. So usually landscape based things.
Right.
So if you're on the edge of really good countryside, so I often do that. So I can go walking and go and do that. Okay.
So do you obviously prefer to actually paint a live scene rather than perhaps from a photograph or something like that?
Yeah, you go out with your drawing board like that, and you go out into the countryside, and you make sketches, you make drawings, and sometimes you do them back at home, and you sort of prepare them up back at home.
Yeah.
But often you can just do them straight there. You can just draw things straight in front of you, which is a lot better. Gets you out. It's kind of quite healthy.
Absolutely, yeah. And do you still sculpt?
Not as much really. You need more space for sculpting, and then you've got something very big as well at the end, and you have to get rid of it. You have to sell it or put it in the bin.
Or put it in the bin.
Yeah.
Lovely. So you mentioned football as well. What is your opinion of the World Cup at the moment? Are you following it?
Yes, I've watched most of the games. Yeah, it's been really good. Really exciting games. Once England got chucked out, things improved dramatically. Got a lot better.
Okay. So did it have a slow start, do you think?
England, they're just somewhere between poor and mediocre, really. So that wasn't going to happen. But the other games have been great. I'll watch as many as I can. So sometimes at home, sometimes in the pub. Yeah. So usually watch about 3 or 4 games a week.
Right. Okay.
This last month.
And on this Sunday is the final, yes?
This Sunday is, I think it's semi-finals. We've got quarter-finals next. So it's 2 weeks' time, I would say. 2 weeks' time.
Okay. So where will you be on the day of the final? Will you be in the pub?
Oh, I'll see. I might be in the pub. Depends if I'm teaching the next day.
Right.
So, I might be watching it home. So yeah, I might be watching it at home.
And tell me, I know nothing about football, but tell me which 2 teams are going to be in the final in your opinion.
there's a lot of teams have managed just to get through. So maybe it's Argentina, perhaps Argentina. Brazil, I don't know, struggled.
Right.
I don't know. I've had a sweepstake. I pulled out Costa Rica. I pulled out.
Right.
So hopefully they'll go to the final.
So that's who you want, yeah?
Yeah.
Costa Rica. Okay. Just going back to your teaching, what would you say is the most fulfilling part of teaching people English?
When they understand something and then reproduce it to you, and when they understand something, you see they've moved on. Moved on. So sometimes it can be passing exams or just passing, understanding a task and then carrying on with that language. Yeah. And using it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what would you say would be the most frustrating part of teaching?
Frustrating when nobody understands.
Yeah.
Parts of a lesson you've done.
Sure.
And you have to start all over again. So when that happens, it's a bit just frustrating.
Sure.
But I enjoy it. You meet lots of different stories and see lots of different people from different backgrounds. It makes you think, and it broadens your perspective on the world.
Absolutely. So,
it's not bad. It's not bad.
So where are you from originally, Neil?
I'm from Darlington.
From Darlington?
County Durham, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, from Darlington, County Durham.
Okay. And what's Darlington like?
Small, well, biggish market town. So every Monday there's a market. And so the main street, the high row, is nice. Yeah, it's got the clock and the market in the middle. And so it looks a bit more like Yorkshire than further up towards Newcastle.
Sure.
It always looks a bit more like Yorkshire. It's pleasant enough. There's not many things there though. There's not many things there.
Okay, it's not a big town, is it?
No, they shut the arts centre and they nearly shut the theatre. So and the football team is plays in other grounds now outside of town.
Oh, really?
It went bankrupt. The football team went bankrupt. So it's a
Okay.
big football stadium, but there was a rugby team in it now, but it's basically empty.
Okay, yes, it was built, but it was very big for the needs, wasn't it?
25,000 people, and there's only 3,000-4,000 people turned up to watch the games.
Right.
So
bit of a problem.
It was kind of quite a lonely experience watching Darlington play.
So have you? Do you still live in Darlington, or do you live over this way now?
No, I live in Darlington. I live back in Darlington.
Right.
So before that, I used to live in Nottingham.
Oh, right.
Down in the Midlands. Yeah. So for about 20 years, I used to live there. Yeah.
I wondered because I'm listening to your accent, and I don't hear a Darlington accent. I hear more southern, Midlands accent.
Yeah. So 30 years ago, I did have the accent, but I don't know, I've just been away too long, so I no longer have the accent, the northeast accent, which is a bit of a shame, really.
Well, but you have a fairly neutral accent, but there's just there's a hint of something behind it. Tell me, I worked down in Alfreton for a while, and also in Nottingham and Derby. They have some unusual words that are only from that area. I seem to recall things like for sweets. What do they call them down there?
Sweets.
Yeah.
Touffies.
Touffies.
Oh yeah, yes, they do say touffies. What else do they say? They have other words for yous, for yourself.
For yous. Yeah.
For yous. What's the other ones then?
And when they say isn't it? Do they say not it?
Oh yes, they do say that.
Yeah.
Not it. Yeah. They do say that. Not it. I'm trying to think of the other colloquialisms from that area. There's plenty.
I know that when I went there, what surprised me was that even the men would say to me, call me Duck.
Yeah, Duck is another one.
Yeah.
Duck. Yeah, are you all right, Duck?
You're all right, Duck. Yeah. Yeah. Because in for example in Newcastle, everybody's pet.
Yeah.
Mascot, pet, but in Duck in Nottingham.
Yeah.
Or in Alfreton, I suppose that way. Yeah. Very good walking area down there, isn't it?
Yeah, the Peak District, Derbyshire.
Yeah.
That's great for walking. Yeah, so it's all right for walking.
Mm.
But I prefer it up here. You got the contrast of, you know, you got the coast, you've got the industrial stuff. You've got the Dales.
Yeah.
And you've got the Yorkshire Dales and going up to Northumbria, going across the Lake District.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of beautiful places around here.
So I prefer that. I like the contrast more.
Okay.
And you can go from coast to coast in about 2.5 hours.
In car?
In a car.
In a car, yeah. Not walking.
No, not walking. That takes a week.
Yeah. Okay, well, Neil, that's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for doing that. See you again.
Okay,
bye-bye.